Hi, outdoor people. I thought I'd give a quick review on my Fenix E12. I've had this for about 12 months now and I use it an awful lot, so it's probably a good time to give you an update on this light and how it's been going. It's tiny, as you can see, it's just 90mm long, great EDC light, everyday carry light. Love it, just slips in the pocket really well. It uses a single AA battery. I'm using a NIMH in mine. It uses a TIR lens, which is a total internal reflection lens. Gives a really broad beam for general use. Really useful for indoors. And outdoors as well, to be honest with you. Not a massive throw. It's got an 88m maximum range, but this isn't really it's not a pocket thrower. It's just a general purpose EDC light to help you around the house and outdoors, walking the dog maybe, that sort of thing. It's digitally regulated, which means it will give a constant lumen output throughout the voltage life of the battery. It's made of anodized aluminium, so it's tough as hell, to be honest with you. It tail stands, so you can use it as a candle in a room, and it's waterproof to IP8, which means you can dunk it. It's completely waterproof. The run times on alkaline batteries, I've made some notes here, I'll just read out the notes I've made. On alkaline batteries, for example your Duracell copper tops, we've got 8 lumen for 22 hours, we've got 50 lumen for 3.5 hours, and we've got 130 lumen for 1 hour. Okay, the 8 lumen is great for just generally around the house, getting up in the middle of the night. To be honest with you, it could do with a lower low for when you get up at 2 AM to visit the bathroom or anything like that. A lower low would be better so you don't wake up your other half, but 8 lumens is pretty good for around the house. The 50 lumen mode is excellent for walking. If you're outdoors on a country lane or walking around the campsite, 50 lumens, absolutely superb for that. Brilliant amount of light. I think 50 lumens is generally the minimum amount of light I'd be comfortable with walking around outside, essentially. I do feel that myself. The 130 lumen, hardly ever use it, to be honest. There isn't a great deal of difference between 130 lumens and 50 lumens due to the logarithmic nature of our eyes. You'll find it's a bit brighter, but you'll cut your battery time down right down. So I would recommend using either the 8 lumen or the 50 lumen output mode. On NIMHs, which I've mentioned I've got in this, the run times are much better. You've got 8 lumens for 40 hours. We've got 50 lumen for 6.5 hours. And we've got 130 lumen for 1.5 hours. So again, if we go on a general campsite with other people, the 8 lumens, will easily last me for maybe a couple of weeks. For just general tasks in camp. And the 50 lumen, walking down the country lanes to the pub, that sort of thing. You've got 6.5 hours of constant use there, so it does last a pretty long time. It's really good. So that's a little overview of the light. What we're going to do now is just do a couple of indoor beam shots, just so I can show you the beam profile and you can see the brightness of the light. Okay guys, just showing you this part in the light as well. I wanted to highlight that the wall ahead is blue. The beam of the light, of the flashlight, is pure white. When we shine it on the blue wall, it will appear blue, but I can assure you that it isn't. It is a pure white. So what we'll do is we'll knock off the lights and get on with the beam profile. So here we go. Complete darkness. Let's turn on. Okay, so this is the 8 lumen mode. We've got a large hotspot here with also a very large peripheral corona and lots of spill as well. It may not appear too bright on the camera at the moment, but with my eyes at the moment this is perfect for going into the garage to get a screwdriver, or getting up in the middle of the night to visit the bathroom. We could do with a lower low on this light if Fenix are listening. However, it's perfectly fine. It does the job very well as a general round the house output. Okay, so bumping up to 50 lumen now. There we go, and you can see how much the output has increased. Going up to 50 lumens, we've got about 2.5 to 3 times as much light that we can detect with our eyes coming out of the flashlight now. Like I said, light follows a logarithmic nature. Going from 8 lumens to 50 lumens, you don't get 5 to 6 times as much light. You actually get about 2 to 3. So here we've got the size of the hotspot is pretty apparent now, isn't it? It's huge. It's just really good for walking around country lanes with. Really good spill on this thing. It just lights up pretty much everything in front of you. And I'd say it's got a usable range on the 50 lumen setting, probably out to about 30 to 40 meters, something like that. So it's just really good for general walking around with. Bumping up to the next level, which is the 130, and here we go. There we are. And you can see this does appear incredibly bright on camera. Outside it's not quite as bright because you haven't got as much to reflect the light back into your eyes. We've really got probably about between 1.3 and 1.5 times as much detectable light with a human eye here. But what this does actually show you is the width of this beam. If I start over here by the table where I was doing the talk earlier and just track left, we're just catching the door. See the door frame there? We're just catching that with the peripheral spill. And the distance from the doorway to the hotspot is about 1.5 to 2 meters. That wall there is about 3 to 4 meters across. Just catching it there, you can really see the size of the spill on this light. So it's a really good general purpose, general beam flashlight for just walking around with and finding things in the home as well if the power is cut or if the lights go out. It's a fabulous little EDC light. So there are the beam profiles. Just dropping back to 8, there'll be a bit of a dramatic reduction now, so there we go. Like I say, just perfect for finding things in a cupboard, in a dark garage, or finding something in the cellar, like a screwdriver that you need. Great little 8 lumen output, and that on NIMH batteries, you know, with the right milliamp hours, will last you 40 hours, which is, you know, you can't say fairer than that really. It's a great light. I'm really pleased with it. If you've any questions on the light or the beam profiles, please drop me a comment. I'll be happy to answer. Take care guys, all the best.